Victory Honda of Muncie is proud to support the student athletes at Ball State and the students in SportsLink. For more info, visit victorymuncie.com.
Coming up on this episode of SportsLink Stories, we'll meet gymnast Megan Teeter and her goals to return to the NCAA regionals.
And there's another Orlando playing tennis at Ball State, and he's chasing after his father's records.
This and more this month on SL Stories.
Every hit, every spike, every goal. Every celebration, every story. From the creative storytellers in Ball State SportsLink, this is SportsLink Stories.
Welcome inside the SportsLink studios here on the campus of Ball State University for this edition of SportsLink Stories presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Hudson French.
And I'm Madison Surface. The best stories in Ball State sports, all in one show every month from the creative storytellers in SportsLink. Let's get started.
You've seen this eccentric group of women at every Ball State event, it seems like, from Worthen Arena to Schumann Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, Code Red. We are so lucky to have Code Red at every home game.
Over 35 years ago, Gene Orlando helped lead the Cardinals to 4 straight MAC championships and a 29-0 mark against the Mid-American Conference. Now his son Vince is in Muncie leading the Cardinals.
I love winning. Without my experiences at Ball State, I mentioned before, I wouldn't be where I am today. And you learn as we go along through other experiences, but you start to go back to your roots.
I probably first started playing tennis when I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old, but the racket was definitely in my hand long before that. I just out with my dad, go to the Michigan State tennis matches. After the match got over, I'd jump on the court, start tapping the ball on the wall, and then just my dad would be like, "Vince, you want to play today?" And I'd say yes, and we'd go out there and be out there for hours. You know, be at the courts by maybe 6 or 6:30, so I'd wake up with a knock at the door or a shake of the bed around maybe 6:30 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. and we'd be out the door and at the courts at 6 o'clock. I'd go to bed early. Sometimes I'd have the rackets right by my bed and have the clothes all laid out, and I loved spending that time with my dad and spending the time on the court with him, because I knew it's such a privilege to have him in my life and have him as my coach.
I think he just kind of gravitated to it, and we just tried to make it fun. Didn't expose him to tournaments right away. He probably didn't take, we trained, we practiced, but we didn't really put him in tournaments until he was probably about 12, just to keep him hungry.
I knew that a lot of times you could play too many tournaments and you could get a little bit burnt out, and when you play when you're younger, you might not be as fiery and have that passion that you want to have when colleges are looking at you and when you want to be, at your peak of your game. So I completely understood, and I think it really worked out for us.
He was just getting started, and he was kind of a new guy on the block, and who's this guy? And I think it kind of motivated him as well, and he knew where he had to go. He saw where the other guys were pecking order, and he just kept on climbing.
You're looking at schools, I was looking at Marquette, I was looking at Xavier, and then Ball State, and obviously Michigan State was in that picture a little bit. But definitely, Coach Richards has an incredible impact on that decision. The fact that my dad played for Coach Richards was just a phenomenal story.
Gene was, a great player for us. His dad in our Ball State Athletic Hall of Fame, played on 4 conference championship teams. Yeah, one of our all-time greats.
He took me to another level, and he created opportunities for me. He challenged me. He put me in a position to help me become a better player.
Gene, and I have remained, like family, as our whole family has with the Orlandos for, ever since the day he left Ball State. So we've known Vince forever.
Vince obviously grew up, being a Cardinal, and knowing the story, with Coach Richards and being part of the continued story. I had my story, and now that my son, it's crazy that my son is playing for Coach Richards, and something I would never have thought.
He started slow. There was a time not that long ago when he probably didn't quite fit our profile.
He took a chance with me. I wasn't that great 4 or 5-star recruit. I was kind of on the bubble, but I had some upside. I'm tall, and I'm a competitor, I'm a fighter. And just playing for a guy like Coach Richards makes you leave everything on the court and never take a point off.
For the last 6 months to a year, he's made just continual steady progress, and he still is. So, he's got the things in his game where he could have a great career.
I think Ball State tennis means family. Ball State University means family. When you win a match, you don't just win it for the 2021 Ball State Cardinals. You win it for the previous, 60 years of Cardinals and success in the past and the future. Maybe it's an Orlando thing. Maybe it's been Orlando's love winning, I think. But no, there's no better feeling than that ball bounces twice, your opponent doesn't get it, and you have that feeling in your heart that like you did it, everything you worked for kind of comes together. But winning is pretty awesome.
It's not only a new year in 2022, but a new era in Ball State men's volleyball. 4-time NAIA Coach of the Year, Donan Cruz, is now in Muncie. He's only the 4th head coach in all of men's volleyball history at Ball State.
That's right, the Cruz era has begun, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, as seen in this package from our partners at Ball State All Access.
Hammer! Let's go! Felix, way to be up and early. Caleb, you are so fast, it's nuts, dude. It's like almost reminds me of myself back in the day. I got KD on a laugh. What we really want to work on today is, on the board, which I saw all of you guys walk right by it, which is fine. No hard feelings. Get some. Oh! What is the movie where you take like a pill and then like you're so like locked in? A Star is Born, that dude. Yeah, you're locked in. Did you take the pill? That's what I'm talking about. Here's what I think you do good is here, 5, high five first, high five first. Contact, and this is solid. You gotta get to this a little quicker. Come on, oh, nice up. Hey, that's a solid up, dude. You're so good that you don't need to make that error. You can just hit 2 feet in this way. Yeah. You're trying to hit a very, very small piece of the court. Widen your target. That's a better ball, Xander. Dang, bro, come on. Nice, that's solid. Up, 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 up. Go, go. Oh, let's go, let's go.
Dog?
No, not at all. Actually, that brings up a very sensitive subject. My dog recently passed away.
Oh, really?
And he was like 15 years old, so. Thanks for, I gotta leave now. Uber emotional. Nice serve. That's his best ball right there. Dude, one thing you gotta keep in mind is a lot of what you're doing is you get in your mind a little bit when you make an error, and then like it gets tentative, and then you give a good one. So go back there with the same mentality, rip it, lets you go, all right? That last 2 were way good. Good, go! Hit a big serve, please. There it is, Trev. Good, 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 good. Woohoo! You like that? You like that? My elbow needs to draw immediately back, all right? Not do anything funky, just I see the ball, elbow goes back immediately. Guys, can we take a timeout right here? One thing in passing is once you determine where your line is of the serve, whoever it is, you gotta kind of pick a side of where you want to pass that ball. Nice pass, Lucas. Good, good. Way to stay on your feet. There we go. Do something creative like outsides or something. There you go.
All right, sports on 3. 1, 2, 3, sports.
Ball partner. Your partner's on one side.
Let's go!
This men's volleyball team is a lot of fun to watch, and trust us, Worthing is going to be rocking for all of their home games this season, especially after that intro video from our creatives at SportsLink.
Ball State men's basketball is in the heart of the Mid-American Conference schedule and looking to find its groove as they head into February. A new face on the team is Creighton transfer Jalen Windham.
Huggins hands off to Windham. Windham over to Jacobs near wing. Jacobs dribbling inside, spins, kicks out to Windham. Open in the corner for 3. Yes! Right in the eye.
We definitely a family. I mean, at the same time, we kind of all knew. A lot of people really see how close we are to where we started back in the summer from day one. We're definitely competitive. This team, all we really talk about is a MAC championship and getting to that NCAA tournament. Kind of the first time I've just dealt with all this transferring and all this stuff. It's pretty new for me, but I think we adjusted pretty well. Fast forward now, a couple months later, we done turned into a family, so it's really easy to go out there on the floor right now and play together. I kind of like being an upperclassman, just seeing how stuff has kind of transitioned from my freshman year to now. It's a competitive roster, but at the same time, we all just want to learn from each other, and our freshmen that I really try to be an example for. They got a lot of questions for the upperclassmen, and so we just try to lead them in that right direction. I would say you just got to gel at the right time and just catch lightning in a bottle. When everybody decides to figure it out, I feel like we can be pretty good. It's still stuff that we got to completely work on, but at one point we're going to get it. Now, I don't know when, but when we do, I think, it could be real scary for the MAC conference.
Your Ball State Eagles!
In 49 states, it's just basketball, but in Indiana, it's different. If you roll in our 3 freshmen, our 3 transfers, our 2 assistant coaches, I really believe that we went 8 for 8. And there's not, there's not a situation where that always happens. It's hard to go 8 for 8 and knock it out of the park.
You know, just growing up in this area, know a lot about it. Growing up 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away in Anderson, playing high school basketball, and then, you know, just very fortunate to be back here and excited for the opportunity.
I mean, obviously the opportunity to become an assistant coach, being home. Obviously, I'm 40 minutes away down the street. Grew up in Indianapolis, so just being able to come back home, recruit. You know, just being a little more comfortable in your first time being an assistant coach. And I've known Coach Whitford for a long time. I actually played against him over my time at Indiana State. So I always respected him as a coach and how mild-mannered he was and how he got his team to play hard. And I didn't have always my best games against Ball State and the way they play their defense. So it was very attracting to come here.
I think, you know, he's got a little bit of a laid-back the way he does things, which I think is great. It's been great for me because I'm learning a different way. You know, when you're a head coach and you've done it for so long as a head coach, getting the opportunity to see it being done a different way. And, you know, I'm sitting there every day saying, boy, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I would have done it this way. And just the opportunity to learn, you know, a different way to do things.
He's got a passion for the game. He's very knowledgeable. And, you know, he relates really well with our guys, and that's going to pay dividends. And, you know, he's a great basketball coach overall.
Just being able to get in him a little more and be a little relatable, just having a relationship beyond basketball. You know, sometimes you can get caught up in the season and the emotions and the ups and the downs. Just being that guy that they can know and trust, they can come to for anything, on and off the court. But we all do the same thing, but, you know, just trying to be as relatable as possible. Trying to be that guy that they can come to.
Not just new faces on the team, but new faces on the coaching staff as well.
And there will be plenty of chances to watch the team at home events and on ESPN platforms, including February 8th, when SportsLink produces their game with CMU.
Our live broadcast schedule in the next month also includes February 9th, women's basketball versus Ohio, and February 20th, gymnastics versus Eastern Michigan. You can catch all the Cardinal coverage on ESPN3 and ESPN Plus throughout the year.
The national leader in sports media and production is in Ball State's College of Communication, Information, and Media. SportsLink is developing the next generation of creative storytellers and producers. The best stories in Ball State sports and live productions to ESPN platforms from day one. This is Ball State SportsLink.
This Ball State gymnastics team has already turned in some record-setting scores for the 2022 season.
And inspired by her sister's health battles, junior all-around gymnast Megan Teeter had to battle her own injuries to qualify for the NCAA regionals and is looking to return again this season.
This year, I think I'm more there for people. I try to help everybody on the team to be the best versions of themselves. And if I see someone having a bad day, I just remind them like what good came out of that day and just how great they are.
I think that she started in that leading by example role. You know, she was always early to weights. She always pushed herself 110%. Being a great teammate, I think, is super important to her. I think once she realized how powerful that is, just the type of gravitas that she has, I think she was able to start to own it and vocally lead.
It started off as being just a fun program for, something to just have her go out and do and get some exercise.
I actually would go to gymnastics when my sister would go to physical therapy for her hip.
It's called leg calf Perthes. The bone in your hip, I guess the blood flow gets cut off and the bone dies and doesn't grow.
After the procedure, she was in 2 casts that her legs were like in a straddle position with a bar in the middle. So while she would be doing that, my mom would just take me there just to keep me busy, keep me moving, because I was really crazy as a kid.
I guess I felt guilty because she was always dragged around to all her sister's appointments, and so I made a point to get her involved in some kind of activity to wear her out, mainly.
She would still, try to play with me or like chase me around, like even after her injury. So I'm sure that I was like a distraction for her during her injury, which is like ironic because then during my injuries that she was like a really big help and like a distraction for me. I went for my last pass and I felt a pop in my knee, and instantly I'm like, that was my ACL. Like I knew I tore my ACL.
She went through maybe 2 weeks of being down and depressed about it and just thought that her chances of going on and doing gymnastics in college was not going to happen.
I went into a really dark period of my life where I was very upset because when you're a gymnast, that's like your whole life. That's almost your identity. And after I tore that, I couldn't do gymnastics for about 9 months.
Felt like 5 years for me, and every day I didn't know what kind of mood Megan was gonna be in.
I had been really upset for those like 2 weeks straight, and I just kept telling my mom, like, I just wanna quit, I just wanna give up, I just wanna quit.
I looked at her and I just said, then quit, Megan. Just quit. It's okay, you can.
And that's when it hit me. I'm like, no, I can't, I'm not gonna quit. No one's gonna tell me to quit. Like, I'm gonna keep going. It just felt right. Like, it felt like I wasn't done yet, just ending my career with an injury.
Finally, after 9 months, the doctor had cleared me to start doing gymnastics-related activity. And this time was really hard because I basically had to start over. It felt like I'd never even done gymnastics before.
She had plenty of time to get back where she was and get her skills, and so it didn't rattle our commitment to wanting her on the team and wanting her to be here.
Only a small percentage of people can get back into doing their sport after that type of injury. Megan was that small percentage that was gonna go on.
Started competing bars and beam again, and that gave me a little bit of hope that, okay, I'm finally getting back to where I was. Gymnastics in college is gonna be a possibility again.
She had the personal fortitude to make it through an injury.
My family really helped me get through that, especially my mom and my sister. She's definitely one of my biggest supporters when it comes to the sport. She would remind me, you're good, you keep going with it, even when it was hard. And honestly, I just owe it to her.
The main focus of when I was coming back was bars because I didn't have to use my legs. So I really worked on bars. I really tried to work on improving my form, improving my handstands, and just working every little thing that I could.
It was a really fun journey watching Teeter from the start of her freshman year all the way through to the end. I think that she was already a great athlete, she was already a great teammate, but that turnaround was even bigger. It was exponential growth.
So going into like the last meets of season, I kind of knew I was in the running for regionals, but I didn't really think about it because I was just focusing on the team going.
I had no doubts that regionals was going to be in her future.
Once I found out that I made it to regionals, I was really excited. Regionals was a lot of fun. It was just a really good opportunity to go out there and represent Ball State, especially in front of other teams like Oklahoma and Mizzou, and it was just a lot of fun. I'm definitely happy that I came to Ball State. I think it was one of the best decisions I could have made for myself.
One of my goals is just to be a good leader for everybody.
The nature of her being who she is, she was able to help lead the team and get everybody on board. I don't think it's going to be the exact same as it was this year. My hope is that she's able to take her gifts and teach other people. The next couple years are going to be really, really exciting for Megan Teeter.
I hope that I could lead our team into even more success that we had this year.
Such an incredible story, and all of us here at SportsLink are rooting for Megan this season.
And with that, our show has come to an end. And wherever you may be watching, online, television, or streaming, we thank you for spending the last 30 minutes with us here in SportsLink.